Here with Washington State women's basketball head coach Kamie Ethridge. Coach, second game this week, you jump into Pac-12 play. You make the short flight over to Seattle to play the Huskies. How is your team preparing for conference play, and just how do you think about starting conference play just so early this season?
Right, it's a long story as to why we're doing the conference this time of year, but I'm excited for it. I mean, this is a new thing that I think will happen every year now. Next year, we'll host at this time. So this is the next game. We're in the midst of a non-conference schedule that's trying to prepare us for Pac-12 play, and Pac-12 play is here. Playing against a really good UW team, a team that's I think is confident, has a few different looks to it, compared to a year ago. Some really, really great young talent, and just a lot of worries in my mind that we have to figure out and make sure that we travel well and that we can compete at the highest level of our first Pac-12 game.
Last time out, your team scored the largest come from behind victory in program history. You were able to erase a 19-point deficit against Portland to pick up a 69-63 win there over the Pilots. How has your team responded coming out of that game, and what's kind of been some points of emphasis and some things that you've been working on in practice preparing for the Huskies coming out of the game against the Pilots?
Well, I think everybody feels relief that we were able to come back and win that game. Played a tremendous team in Portland. Really have a lot of respect for what they are and who they are and how they played us. It was a really hard fought game. Hated the way we started the game. Hated that we dug ourselves into a big hole. But you gotta feel good about coming back from that and having a team that didn't lose their composure too much and found a way with some foul trouble that we had in the first half, found a way to kind of scrape together and got different people coming off the bench that really, kind of steadied us a little bit and took a 19-point deficit to an 11-point deficit by halftime. And I think that 8-point swing was big for us. It had a lot to do with, I think, how we came out and felt at halftime and then came out in the third quarter. So, you're gonna get behind in a course of a long season. You're going to take some hits, you want to teach your team how to respond well to those and not get overwhelmed by it. So you gotta look at that game for us and hope that we really grew from it and that it's going to help us in the long run.
How much is a game like that on the road in a hostile environment, in a place against a team that the program hasn't beat since '85? How much does the tournament experience and having a senior-led team and a group of upperclassmen that's been to the NCAA tournament, that's had success before, how big does that play in moments like that, in situations like that, to allow them even the opportunity to come back from a 19-point deficit?
I don't know. I don't know if I can completely put those together. I mean, I do think it matters that we're a little bit experienced and we've been through some battles, 2 years of it. Had success winning some really hard fought and close games a year ago, have everybody almost back from that team. But then I think you have to credit a lot of the players. AT came in off the bench, obviously, and had a tremendous impact on that game and played at a high level. She's a freshman, so she's pretty good, and she knows how to compete in big moments pretty well, and it wasn't overwhelmed in that situation. I thought some players didn't play well in the first half and then got their game together in the second half. I think there were players that did that made a big difference for us. And I think that's the sign of maturity, that you can maybe not start well, but you get it together and you find a way to help your team succeed. And we just got more focused on how we wanted to guard Portland, and that's a good thing. We got more aggressive. I think attacking the rim. I think Grace Sarver came in and gave us great minutes. And again, I think some of that experience that you talked about is something that did help our team. But overall, this is a new team, and this is I think going through a preseason and getting down and not starting well a few times and still finding ways to get back in the game and play well is a sign that we're growing up a little bit. And again, you got to look at every game as a 40-minute game. You don't get beat in the first 10 minutes. You got to respond the right way and help get yourself back into the game and give yourself a chance to win at the end.
Kind of turning the focus back on the Sunday game against the Huskies at Alaska Airlines Arena. It's a place that you and your staff has been successful there here of late. You've been able to string a few wins together there. How do you think how does that play a factor, if any, in preparation, or maybe having some confidence going into that building, knowing it's a place that you guys have won in the past?
Again, I don't know if there's much carryover to that. I mean, we have a lot of the same players, so they've experienced this rivalry. I think everybody knows it's the Apple Cup. Older players really understand the significance of this game and how our alumni feel. And it's a highlight. It's a highlighted game. I think the fans, want to see a great game and like seeing these two teams go against each other. So I think that, being familiar with all that is a good thing. I think for us, I mean, it is a really important game. It's the first Pac-12 game, but I think it has so much more in a long-term scheme of things that this is one of a bunch of games. And we want to be good every single time we have a chance to step on the floor. Yes, maybe some more significance. It's a Pac-12 game. Yes, it's your rivalry. So both teams are going to be very, very well prepared and very ready to play this game. But at the same time, I mean, I want our team this is an uphill climb, and we're climbing every single day, and we've got to find a way just to put our best foot forward and be as good as we can possibly be on Sunday. And that's the only focus that we have. Yes, it's UW. Yes, it matters a lot. Yes, we want to win, but it's more important that we just approach the same way that we always have. We scout well. We know them well, and we've got to find a way to be our best on Sunday and give ourselves a chance to win it.
All right, Coach. Well, we appreciate your time. Thank you very much, and best of luck on Sunday. We'll talk to you after the game. Until then, go Cougs.
Thanks. Go Cougs.